This is an urgent appeal from the Disasters Emergency Committee. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled their homes to escape conflict in Ukraine, leaving jobs, belongings and loved ones behind. They need shelter, food and water. You can help. To donate online, search DEC or text radio to 70150 to give £10. Thank you.
Streaming 24/7, this is Brum Radio.
Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
I'm Dave Massey. I'm down here at the Alexandra for the Alexandra Stage Experience, which this year is Fame, and it's on from the 25th to the 27th of August, and it's directed by and choreographed by Polly Ann Tanner, who I previously saw directing Singing in the Rain in 2019. We have got Michael and Laura, who are playing Carmen and Mr. Myers in this production. Guys, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you very much.
How long have you been down here rehearsing for? When did you get here?
We got here last Friday, so about 5 days now, and it's been really good so far, so yeah.
Had you seen Fame before on stage, before you came to do this?
Yes, I've seen it twice before. I've seen it both outside of the Alex, and it was brilliant. I love the story. It's just such an amazing arc, and there's loads of different characters that are just portrayed really well for teenagers, I think.
Had you seen it, Michael?
No, I knew practically nothing about the show before the audition, but I did do a fair bit of research into the synopsis and characters before going for the audition.
When you were looking at the roles within it, did you look at the roles that were suited to your personalities and see whether that was going to be the right sort of roles for you to be doing?
Yes, definitely. I think Carmen definitely appealed to me because of her bright personality. She's got a bold personality, she's sassy, and I think that's the sort of character I'd love to portray, because confidence is just amazing to see on stage, and I think that would really inspire a young audience as well, and that's what I'd really like to do.
And had you looked at the character and thought that this was the character for you?
Yes, I thought Mr. Myers is a type of teacher I'd want in my school. He's very honest with his students. He shows respect for them and they respect him back, and I'm playing a role which is someone I'd like to have in my school.
The play and the songs evolve over 4 years during the actual story. Is that weird to sort of be demonstrating a whole year in each half an hour?
Yeah, I mean, it's good because you see a little snapshot of every single character's kind of process through the year, and I think they all grow a lot in both the first half and the second half, because you see 2 years in both, and I think you see their character development a lot through both, and I think it's really good to kind of just show a little snippet and let the audience imagine what they'd actually be like in the whole year.
The first sort of group sort of numbers that you practiced together, whereabouts in the show did that come from when you first was that early on in the actual storyline, or was it quite later on?
We started with Hard Work, which is the opening number, and I believe in a way it's sort of easy to start from the beginning and move through to the end, because each character progresses massively and matures throughout the show, so it's easy to start from the beginning and work our way through to the end.
Have you been badgering your friends and family to come and see this?
Absolutely. I've literally tried to post it everywhere. All my family know about it. We've got lots of tickets, so I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's going to be amazing.
What would you say to people that are going to be inspired by your performance about wanting to work in the theatre industry, and what sort of experience this has given you?
I think theatre is such an amazing place to work because everyone is so friendly. It's such a bright atmosphere, and I feel like there's just a buzz in a theatre that you can't get anywhere else, and I think that's really special.
Do you have a similar opinion?
Yes, I mean, for me, and I think for a lot of performers I know, at the end of the show, when you take your final bow and the applause, it really means a lot, not just the actors on the stage, but for everybody involved in the show, and that is just the greatest feeling.
Is this your first time on stage? Had you been on stage before?
Yeah, so I've been doing theatre for about 6-7 years now. I've always danced since I was very little, but I've started to take it more seriously in the past 4 or 5 years, and it's just been the most amazing 4 or 5 years of my life, I think. And I've grown as a person as well as a performer, and it's just developed me so much, and I can't thank theatre enough for that.
Yeah, I started performing 7 years ago and moved on professionally in the past 5 years, and really it's something you fall in love with. For me, it was, when I was younger, it was never something I paid much attention to. However, after my first performance, I thought, I like this, I'll carry on and see where it goes, and here I am today. It's really great.
You can see this production of Fame, which is at the Alexandra Theatre from the 25th to the 27th of August. You can check out the website, atgtickets.com, and then if you go to the shows there, it'll be Fame. It will describe it as Fame Stage Experience, and in particular, this is a youth cast that is doing this production with experienced producers and directors as well. How does that feel to have such a professional group around with yourselves?
It's really gives you an insight into the real world of performing arts, where we've suddenly got 2 weeks to put on a 2-hour show and not 6 months. And in a way, it's giving us an insight into West End or touring productions, and that's going to really help everyone who wants to go into this industry understand what the real world is like.
Is the turnaround for that pretty fast to you?
It is quick, but I think the hard work that we all put in is amazing, and I think we're going to pull it off, and it's just going to be an incredible show. So please get your tickets now.
Laura and Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me about this today. I've got a new guest in the hot seat here down at the Alexandra Theatre. I'm joined by Harry Preece, who is Senior Technician at Alexandra. We're here to chat about Fame, which is the Alexandra Stage Experience, which is here at the Alexandra Theatre from the 25th to the 27th of August. Good afternoon, Harry. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's really warm in this this space that we're in. We're in a rehearsal space, and I've had actors tell me that they're really warm, ridiculously, but it's true. It's very true. You've been involved in this the Alexandra Stage Experience before. How long ago was that, and what was your involvement?
So I first did Stage Experience when I was 15, so 5 years ago now, and my first one was West Side Story. I then missed Boogie Nights and came back again for Singing in the Rain, and not long after that then got a full-time job here. So this is then my first stage experience actually working at the Alex.
For young people getting into theatre, this is a path in then?
Absolutely. This is, I'd say, the best open door you can get. It's one of those jobs that is, you need past experience, but you can't get past experience without past experience. Yeah. So you end up with that vicious cycle, but this gives you a foot in the door, and we employ so many people that come and do the tech side of this. There was me and I think a couple of others from the year that I did, and if someone is good and works hard, then we want them.
What's the earliest you have to be here, and what's the latest they let you go home?
Oh, so a normal day for me is kind of 10:06. If we've got a particular show in, so yesterday I think I did a 9:30 till about 9 o'clock, so kind of 11 and a half hours. My days vary. I can do long hours.
And is that something that you knew would be part and parcel of what you were doing here?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's part of this side of the industry is that you will do long hours, but no one gets into this job because of the money or because of accidentally getting into it. Everyone wants to go into it for the passion, so you have to be willing to kind of sacrifice a bit of time and put all your efforts in, really.
Tell us how long you've been working on this Fame production for, and what was your first involvement with it? So
I first got asked to be part of it, I'd say about 3 or 4 months ago, and I came on as production electrician. So I started working out what cable we needed, where we were putting lights, based on the lighting designer's plans. So I started filling in all that paperwork 3 or 4 months ago, and then we began prepping it all last week, ready for this week, and we've now got all of our lighting up in the air, and we're ready to start technical rehearsals.
There's only the BMOS, that come here and the stage experience that come here that are only here for their show. And obviously you hear throughout the year, you get used to what the space is like. Does that help you use every centimetre of the space when you're doing productions like this?
100%. And we aim to set this up like any other show. So the kids that are coming in are able to experience what it's going to be like when they got a job at the end of it. So it's not a case of, like a lot of other venues, that will set up something completely different, and then when they go into a theatre to work, they've got no idea what's going on. It will be like any other show that passes through here, so people know what to expect in the industry.
And when there's other productions that come here, are you overseeing what they're doing?
Yeah, so essentially my role during the production is to oversee the lighting department when we're on getting days, and then to make sure that everything runs smoothly once the show's in. For
people looking to get further into this industry themselves, who are sort of under the age of 20, what sort of time of year would they have to, and how much in advance of a production like this would they have to get in touch with the theatre?
So for this particular production, we start doing interviews and auditions around April, May time, but for anywhere really, I just get in contact. If this is something you want to do, just email people, get in touch with, if it's tech you want to go into, get in touch with a technical manager at a venue and just see, even if you can just go and look around or you can spend a day there, just being in that environment will teach you so much about how things operate.
So my letters as a teenager would have worked.
Absolutely.
Had I sent them off.
Absolutely. I know 100% we'd always be willing to get people in, and if they're keen and willing, show them around. As long as productions are okay with it, we're more than willing to show people backstage and show people how we operate.
Do you ever get the opportunity to see the production from the front, or are you at the back yourself?
So when I first started out here, I started out follow spotting quite a bit, which obviously I'm sat out front, so I quite enjoyed that because I got to watch the show. And then occasionally, if it's a production that I quite like and it's a day off, I'll nab a free seat and go and sit and watch it.
Tell us what follow spotting is.
So follow spotting, we have 2 big lights out front that are hand controlled. So we pick particular people on stage and literally point a massive light at them and follow them around on stage.
During Fame in particular?
So for Fame, we've got 2. Some productions have 4, some only have 1, some don't have any at all. It depends on the individual production.
So if it was a touring production, would there be someone else designated to do that from the tour, or is it yourselves from here? So
it depends on the show. If it's a very, very hard show to spot, then they'll occasionally tour people, but 99% of the time they just have a sheet that tells you at what point you're following who round on stage. That's absolutely fascinating to me, because I've always wondered who would have the responsibility for that as well. And because I'm always here on the first night in general seeing things, it always to me makes me wonder how fresh it is to the people who are doing the lighting or not. So quite often the first night that you see the show is the first time that we've ever seen the show as well. So it will be a case, some will just have a sheet and will have pictures of characters, and you just have to quickly look at it and say, oh my god, I've got to follow this person now, and you've just got to be on it. And then if it's a very difficult production, so one in particular, Jersey Boys, yes, they tour someone that tells you exactly what you're doing at what point, so they'll be in your ears constantly and say, right, okay, spot 2, you're picking up this person, and go, and then tell you exactly what you're doing. How do you feel when the production's here for a longer period like Jersey Boys? So the second production I ever worked on here was The King and I, which was our Christmas show, so it was in for 4 weeks, and I really enjoy that because I quite like getting to know the crew. So they're a really nice crew, got on really well with them. I'm still in contact with some of them. One's on Blue Man Group, one's on Beauty and the Beast now. Yes. So still keep in contact with a few of them. But I quite like that kind of team kind of mentality. Yeah. So I like getting to know people. So a longer run for me is quite nice. And because I've been lucky enough to see shows that have been here for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. And when I've come and seen them,
I'm always comfortable knowing how well it's sold out for people, or what sort of tickets or days I'm supposed to be encouraging people to buy tickets for as well. So seeing something like The King and I, where you know that it's going to draw people in from, and that's a huge production, The King and I as well. Has there been productions where you were surprised about the amount of work that was going to have to go into them?
I'd say King and I is actually a very good example as well. The backstage of that was insane. So the boat that's on in the very first scene,
yes.
As soon as that goes off stage, there's a curtain that comes down in front that then has, I think it had about 30 seconds to be split in half.
Yeah.
One side went to one side of the stage, the other went to the other, and then they were motored up and hung above the cast backstage because there wasn't enough room. So that was quite mad, the amount of effort that went into that.
It's an impressive moment, though.
Yeah.
When you sat there watching it from the front, it's crazy impressive, and it makes you feel the money that's been invested in the production is ridiculous as well. I could get you back to chat about this further, because I've got so many questions about how the theatre is run and how behind the scenes things work, but we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Harry, for taking the time to chat to us about this today.
No worries, thank you for having me.
I'm just going to get the dates back up because I'm on a completely different screen on my phone. The Fame Alexandra stage experience is on from the 25th to the 27th of August, which is this week as this production, as is this interview airs. You can buy tickets for this at atgtickets.com. Click on the shows and then Fame Stage Experience.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.